Get 3 times points on travel and dining.
Come on, ads. Stop that. Want to break from the ads?
Everywhere you go.
Yes.
With Chase Sapphire Reserve. Make more of what's yours.
AT&T Business helps us make quick work out of big uploads.
So many uploads.
Client says bigger.
like the way this ring looks. So I'm trying to match up the lines I have going on the side, trying to make the bottom look like it's meant to be like that, right? You know, I'll say this is good enough. It is like a little, I could take a little bit more off the center. But I think it's in that stage where it's okay. How does it compare to the first one? No, they're similar. Okay, that's good then. Some of these I'm really liking, like some of these are trimmed kind of and they're thrown kind of raw and they have some burrs on them. I really want to see if I can keep some of that stuff on there and then trim a foot that feels similar. There's something I kind of really liked about this, those little burrs on the edges there, you know. So we'll see, but alright, we'll keep these open now. Just because I think we still have a lot to trim. Alright, feeling around on this vessel. I think right there. Foot ring can be about there. It actually is a little bit of an up, coming up a little bit. So I gotta keep that in mind. Yeah, let's get that in there first. The center of this thing. Bing, bing. Alright, I think it's in a good spot. Camera B. Alright, so what we're doing here, so I gotta move my Topo Chico over here. It's the best sparkling water. I want it in the frame though. It's the best sparkling water ever, and I put a little bit of lime in it. So good. Anyway, so I'm taking these rolling up these little sausages. They can't be too stiff. They really gotta be kind of chill sometimes. By chill I mean squishy. So I think I got one more, trim with these ones, and I gotta get new stuff because after a certain point it becomes so like hard that it doesn't actually stick to the bat and they fly off, right? Where is it? Actually kind of weird. I thought I just had it. Oh, it is in my lap. But where's the black one? Alright, get ready for a loud noise. It's gonna break, fall as soon as I stand up. Oh no, it's right underneath here. This one. This is one of my favorite tools. Alright, so first we're gonna mark where our lines were. Zoom. I'm going to first bring this one across. then bring it up a little bit. I'm going to trim this in. I'm going to bring this guy out here. If you trim slow, you can remove a lot more material. So just alright, we'll test this guy out here. Can bring this up just a little bit, okay? I still got a tad bit more I can take off on this bottom. You know, I'll start digging out the center there. Here we go. I'm gonna set this down. Have it spin. I feel like this is like spanking a hamster. You know, think of the hamster at 8 your like power cord to your Game Boy Advance or something. So I always think about that. It's the sort of pressure you want to use. Alrighty. So like we said, we can take a little bit more weight off the shoulder here. Okay, and we'll smooth that out later. And I know that I can take a little bit more in here. Then I'm going to start taking off the top and flattening that out. So that's an extra step you have to take for if you are throwing off the hump, you have to flatten that top edge back out, which can be a little bit annoying sometimes. Down. Ready to take the center out. Again, I know that there's a little bit more clay in the middle here, because I was feeling this before I started, so I kind of already felt that. We're making sort of a little undercut inside of the vessel here. You might be asking why. Sometimes it's kind of cooler if you have the illusion of a thicker foot. It's a thinner foot. Also, when you go to wipe off the bottom of the vessel, having these lines here make it so it's a really nice seam where your glaze starts and ends. So I just put little reference spots all over my image, or all over my objects. Dun, 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 dun. How goes the day? It's okay. I got a trim, so obviously not the best. But other than that, it's going okay. think these ones, I might terracige these cups, you know? I really could take a little bit more off. That's sad. I wanted to be done. But this one, it's saying you're not done yet. Come on. And then these ones now are a little bit too stiff. I'm not going to stick these ones back on. I'm going to grab some new clay. You know me, I love butchering as long as you don't go too far. That is SMH. So funny. Yeah, but I've been making a lot of terra sigillata. And so I was thinking about doing a couple of cups that are just only terra sig. I think it'd be really nice. Oh, I like that piece. My style, 100%. Very East Asian looking. I feel like when I look at a lot of East Asian pottery, like it seems like a lot of it's thrown off the hump, especially like their cups and stuff. And so I think it's the nature of the process of throwing off the hump that makes it look that way, you know? There's something like embedded in the forms are kind of like somewhat a byproduct of a process, if that makes sense. It's like the path of the least resistance to go and make them this way, just because when you take them off the hump, they're really like, you want to make this little puck small because you want to preserve the clay when you're throwing off the hump, right? So it's a lot easier to build contrast and form between outside and inside rim, you know? Where when you throw flat, which is like one chunk, you're not really thinking about this bottom area as much during the throwing process, you know? So I feel like it adds a whole nother element to the object, personally. And so I am a fan of that. Any way that I can kind of have more control over the final result right when I'm throwing, that's kind of what I like. Some people really leave a lot of clay on the bottom there, but anyway. Alright, so we're feeling this bottom here. We gotta start here. I'll bring that across to probably about here. Man, we're gonna trim a lot of clay off this one. This one is actually kind of a little bit wet too, so as we kind of get pushed along here, gotta make sure that I'm slow down. I find when you go in really fast on soft clay is what's your tool wants to dig into it and get stuck, right? So when it gets pretty soft, slow down that wheel a little bit, and I think it really helps. I'm becoming a real armchair potter, largely due to your musings. I need to try this one day. Yeah, I feel like, I'm sure you feel the same how you feel about like your shuriken, like throwing and like learning about the history and stuff, and like your involvement in that. It's probably the same way I feel about the pottery stuff, you know? Like there's little things that you probably can feel when you're throwing something, or because you know something in the history, like you know why it was made this certain way, and it's like it's the same feeling, you know. So I think it's kind of interesting. Like I think that's what kind of is a link between a lot of like makers and people who have like interests, is that it gets interesting to hear about someone share their interests, right? Like if you're a little bit outside of the knowing of it, that's kind of what makes it exciting, and you can relate to it even if the process is totally different, because the feeling is very similar. You know what I mean? Like, because I feel the same way about, like, I watch a lot of like glass blowing and glass fusing things and a lot of metal stuff, and I would say even some like I watch a lot of this game called it's called RimWorld, and essentially it's like you get to build things. Like I like watching build videos because I like seeing someone's approach to something, you know. All right, we'll cut this in here. All right, I'm gonna go across here. I know I gotta take off a ton of material on the bottom, you know. Alright, it's knocking into my hand, so I gotta be careful. You know what I thought would be cool one day is like, what if I trim in a bowl, right? Like I make a bowl, like a really wide bowl, and then I center and trim one of my vessels in the bowl, but I have glaze in the bowl, so wherever those land, they're gonna get glazed to that position. I think that could be pretty cool. I'll have to try that. I really think that'd be a good idea. I just don't make bowls often. Bowls and like wide plates are usually the most annoying thing to first transport, then to load, right? It's a lot easier to load like cylindrical things than like flat, wide things. We're gonna just see what we're at right now, right? And this crazy glaze idea sounds like a gem. I'm watching people involved with the craft, whether they make commercial or things. Yeah, I agree. And the plate, that plate idea, yeah, I think it would be really cool actually, but it just takes time. And maybe I make it so then they fit the foot ring in the plate. Does that make sense? I don't even know how I do that. Because I'd like that the object that was trimmed on top of it has the trimmings that were used for it, you know? Like there's almost like the literal movement of it like shedding its trimmings all like visually apparent, you know? Like I like that idea. And I wouldn't smooth out this. Like I'd leave the lines. I'd try to make it like really purposeful trimming lines, you know? Like right now I kind of just slowly removing layers. I try to remove like ribbons. And so very thick ones, you know? I will bring this down just a tad. Bring it in a little bit more. Alright. Kind of unfortunate, but enjoy the chat. Take care, brother. May your events be useful ones. I actually like that. It's like reminds me of May the Fourth be with you, or the Force. May the Force be with you. And then, and may your ribbons be useful ones. Or maybe that sounds like the religious thing. You know how like in church they would be like, may the spirit be with you, and then they say with your spirit. Maybe that's why I got it. Anyway, regardless, see you around, dude. Peace. Alright, we gotta keep going on this one. I feel like I need a vibe shift, guys. Oblivion Remastered. Alright. Here we go. I love the foot on this one. You see how it goes out just a little bit? This one's looking great. Alright, last one in this bin. I think this is one of the ones that needs the stem. So I'll show you guys how I do that, which is going to be kind of fun. The vision, guys. You guys see the vision? Hope you guys see the vision. Okay. We gotta take the thickness off right to the bottom here. I'm gonna make another line right about there. it about here. Let me flatten it off. Here we go. Icon. Icon. Why is that happening? Ka-chow. There we go. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Trimming the bottom of my vessel. Trimming the bottom vessel. Alright, here we go. I think I'm kind of liking how this is looking right now. Okay. I need a little needle tool. I'll be back in a second. Chill. Yummers. Okay, so things I don't like about it. The base where it connects, that looks kind of meh to me. It doesn't look that great. But I feel like I'm kind of done working on this one. I gotta keep on moving on. But if I was to do something differently, I would have made the stem a little bit thicker, and then maybe have got a nice little like blend into it. It just feels like two separate objects being stuck together, you know. But all right, put this one in here. We got one more of those to make, and so that's what happens when I've been throwing on the wheel when I'm doing off the hump. Throwing it when I have that little bit left. Sometimes I'll make stems for goblets on there, you know, kind of fun. This is gonna be the other goblet. This one's more goblet shape, and it has like a wider base. You'll see in a little bit. A couple of things though that I want to do before I get into the next one. I'm gonna be taking this off. So, camera A. Hey, what the heck? Did I just break you? I hope not. No, you're good. Ow. Icon. Camera B. Wheel. Take this off. Look at this. All the trimmings in my little bucket. Because on the last one I trimmed, it was starting to, I could hear that scratchy sound, and I get really sensitive to that sound. Not, you know, as much right now, but when I'm editing the content, I hear that little scratching sound. It drives me insane. So I don't even want the wheel to scratch up against these trimmings because that annoys me. It might seem over the top, but I feel like when you're editing stuff for real, it's those small things that will drive you crazy. We said, happy Sunday, beautiful goblet. Thank you. Okay. It's kind of like more of like a little jar than an actual cup, but it is going to be a cup. I promise. Okay. Gonna make some marks though. Zoom. Right down to the bottom. Here we go. We're looking at our approach to the object here. I think the first thing we're going to do is remove some of that bottom of the material. Last, we'll save the foot for the very last. It's a little bit uneven, so it's usually better to get that clay on the bottom established before we try to flatten it out there. So here we go. Start all the way down here. Up to here. I already know that I can bring this all the way across to the top. Bruh. What you doing, dude? So I try to take off too much material. My bad, guys. You know, to prevent that from happening, get some water on your wheel head. You can also push down with your finger when you're trimming too, and it can prevent it, but sometimes I like the little extra suction. Especially when I'm doing round things, I feel like I often am putting pressure like not directly on the object. like pushing down. It's almost going across the object. Let's see. How much material did we get rid of here? Oh, I hit that rim. Sad. I still can remove a lot more. Push down, suction that on there. Here we go. Cut in. All the way down to the bottom. Nice. This side here. Oh, I think this is gonna be good. I can already kind of tell this one's gonna be good. Trim some of this out. Down the middle. Slow that wheel down when you're taking a lot of material out. This out. In the middle. Slow it down. A lot of material out. Right. We kind of like that. There we go. See, just move that along. know I shouldn't really be doing that, but I just want to clean it up just a little bit. Very orb-like. What I wanted to do is I kind of wanted to smooth this top edge out, but I'm not going to. No, I won't to, I won't. Even though I want to, I won't. Alright. Where is this guy next? So these are the ones where I'm kind of like throwing and being a little bit looser with my throwing technique here, right? Kind of like that. I see those little lines there, so I want to try to keep that same sort of vernacular onto the bottom of the vessel here. A little bit too thick. So we get something cool going on the bottom with this like whole thing, but we'll see if we're gonna keep that or not. Maybe I will smooth out the inside. I think it's deserved it. Okay. Let's see if this is okay. Ah, it's still way too much weight in it. Darn. I can trim this down way more. Do we like that though? Maybe it's a little bit too crazy anyway. Let's just try to chop it all flat. I was trying to be like more gestural with my trim, but I don't think this is the vessel for that. Camera A. Gimbal. Icon. Part of me says I don't even want to put handles on any of them, and I literally just terra-stitch the heck out of every single one of these. We'll keep this like that, how it is. I would trim this side in a little bit, but I don't want to mess with those lines. I think that's really what makes the piece look the way it does. I think without those lines, it kind of gets screwed up. Let's do the other goblet, maybe. I can probably put the cover back on this guy here. I got a lot of trimming to do on this one. Oopsies. The vision. Zoom. Don't you think that'd be cool? I think that's a vibe, personally. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's a vibe. Where'd I go for it? Frick. This one's not gonna work. I went too thin. I'm just gonna leave it as is. I'm not gonna mess with it anymore. Darn, that's okay. It's okay. What am I gonna do tomorrow? Tomorrow in the morning I'll do this. wake up and I'll finish these. That'll be a good day. Then I go to work. Then I come back. I can edit. Yeah, I think we did enough today, guys. I guess we should show off. No, we can do that all tomorrow. Well, thank you guys for watching.